Hello, and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John, and my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Happy New Year, Dan.
Thanks.
Happy New Year, listeners.
Thanks.
That was my impression of the listeners.
They don't sound like that.
No, they don't. They sound much more refined. Well, hope you're all enjoying 2024 so far, ignoring the football.
Some of it. Well, yeah. All Exeter City output so far this year has been substandard.
It's been 2 games since we spoke last. We finished the year on something of a high.
Yeah.
Portsmouth sold out ground.
Yeah, and if you want to go a little further back than that, we were on an unbeaten run. 2 games unbeaten.
Bosh.
4 points.
Woof. Shazam.
So, yeah, followed up
Huzzah.
the emphatic win with an emphatic 0-0 draw
Yeah.
against league leaders Portsmouth,
Yeah.
a.k.a. Pompey.
A.K.A. Jack Sparks FC.
Yeah, big, fat Bellman FC.
Oh, yeah.
Not banned from St James Park, unfortunately.
Well, we all heard it. Couldn't see him.
No, I kept trying to look because the game was quite dull, but couldn't see him.
So let's start with the positive, shall we? 2023's over.
Yeah.
For City, not a bad thing. Not the best of years. And yeah, we finished with that point. Like you said, league leaders. They didn't really look like league leaders, did they?
No, absolutely not. They looked well off it, and they didn't create much, did they? Didn't seem to have any real rhythm to their play, and it was, there was the odd chance here and there for both of the teams. Niskanen hit the post at one point.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
And they flashed one across the goal. And there was another one, wasn't there, where Diabate made a bit of a kind of last gasp tackle.
Yes.
But not an enjoyable match. It wasn't like, I just said I was looking for a bellman.
Aren't we all?
But it was actually fairly, entertaining, wasn't it?
Well, it was. City put together some good football. It's good to see Sonny Cox kind of growing into first-team football, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think he does some things well. It's not the answer to our... Clearly, it's not quite the answer to our questions.
No.
Because he didn't score.
Our question being, can we win a football match?
Well, yeah, and can we get some goals along the way?
Yeah.
And we have got some. We'll come on to them. But there's none in that game.
Carroll driving forward a bit more. Seeing a bit more of that, aren't we?
Second half, yeah, he was better, wasn't he? I think there's a question. I think there's a. It's interesting, Tom Carroll, isn't it? I think he does some things really well, and other times you think he's not what this team needs. You know what I mean? Like, I think it goes if we're on top of things. I think it's a little unbalanced at the moment. I know that's obvious, really, isn't it? Because the squad is depleted injury-wise, and also just small anyway. But we're now in the January transfer window.
Yeah, did you hear that? That's what the bell was ringing for the start of that.
Right. I've got my notifications turned on in case anything happens during this recording sesh.
Good, thank you for that. That's a good commitment.
Welcome.
I'd imagine it'll be as quiet as, Torquay on playoff final day.
Right. Yeah, what do you mean? Because they're all inside watching it?
No, I mean because there's nothing happening. Because
right.
They've already gone. It was a bad metaphor.
Right, yeah, there's plenty of other quiet things you could have mentioned.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't. As quiet as... I was going for a Devon-centric one, I suppose.
Yeah, well, the Northernhay Gardens on New Year's Day.
Lovely.
No one's going there, are they then?
Too windy.
Very windy. It was raining.
Yeah.
And if you were going to go for a walk, you wouldn't go there, would you? Because it would only take you about 5 minutes.
Well, it's not long enough, is it? I often think that's not really a park, is it? I realise it is, but...
Very much a park.
Yeah, but...
Here's the thing I don't understand, right?
Yeah.
Why don't they get the old bandstand open? It's just sad, isn't it, that it's just literally boarded up because some homeless people were sleeping in it and they thought, well, we can't have that.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, absolute nonsense.
So you have to gate it up. But why not use it? Why not put some umpire there on a Saturday or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Punch and Judy.
Yeah.
Anything.
Well, that old boy used to play the accordion with his bog roll holder to collect money in. Remember him?
The one with the big glasses.
He didn't have glasses, did he? But he
Oh,
had the
no,
right
I'm
hold.
thinking of the guitar guy.
Oh, Stripey Howlin' Hancock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What happened
not
to
him.
him?
Presumably he died.
Did he?
Presumably COVID got him.
That's a big presumption.
It is, but I just haven't seen him.
Anyone know? Stripey Howlin' Hancock, big glasses, big thick glasses.
What do you call it?
Busker.
Like bluegrass music.
Yeah. Where is he?
Where are you?
We could
He
do a
can
whole
see
episode
you
on-
from
we
1,000
could do a whole
miles away through
episode
those
on,
glasses. What?
We could do a whole episode on Exeter buskers, couldn't we?
We could.
Music for the disabled.
Of course.
Keithy.
Yes. I mean, this.
My mate once thought he fancies himself as a bit of a kind of, beatnik.
Right, yeah.
And he thought, oh, this guy.
Already know who you're talking about.
Got a kind of Tom Waits vibe about him.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop and see what he's got to say for himself. What pearls of wisdom can he,
Yeah.
flick my way?
And
Mad as a hatter. Mad as a
I'm
brush.
shocked. I am shocked.
Mad as a
by it.
balloon.
Good. Anyway, you could put any of them on in the bandstand if you wanted.
Yeah. That guy, the crooner guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
Yeah.
Not much of a neck.
No, don't need one.
Don't need one to croon.
Maybe he lost the neck due to crooning. Too much crooning.
Croon-related neck injury.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happens to the best of us. Anyway, it was 0-0, and you got to take a point, haven't you? You got to think, fine, form, size of club, our lack of form, points perfectly good.
Oh, yeah. I think everyone would, before the match, was kind of thinking, despite Pompey's kind of, relative slump, that a point here would be fine. I was hoping for a kind of to have got a goal along the way to that point, but still, I was quite happy to take it. And you're thinking, okay, why it's not like you think, oh, we've turned the corner. Get Gary in another pint at Firehouse. It's just like, okay, this is a bit better than the kind of absolute kind of like dross we've been watching for the last couple of months.
Yeah. We've said it all
Sonny
along.
Cox is back, and that seems to be working a little bit, and so it was like, okay, this is something. This is something.
Yeah. We've said it all along, haven't we? I can see that Gary Caldwell is able to get the team to perform his plan better. He's managed to improve them a bit in the last couple of weeks, that the plan happens more exactly. But the problem is, it's the wrong plan, and he's got no other plans.
No.
So there we are.
This is a bit of a talk sport take, but
Ooh.
what,
bigoted?
No, not quite that bad. But do the players look like they're enjoying playing?
No.
Is it sort of too convoluted and too kind of overcoached, and not enough kind of go out there and enjoy yourself, lads? Kind of.
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
Football's supposed to be fun. Like, they've got into football because it's more fun than some of the other options, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Well, presumably, at least some of them. Like, this was seen as an enjoyable option for them. Obviously, you don't enjoy when you're losing, but you're right. In the implementing of the plan, if it works every time, you'll take it. If you win every game 1-0 and win the league, you'd be pleased with.
Yeah, so you say you're Jack Grealish playing for Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
You're not having as much of a laugh as you were when you were at Villa and you could do whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
Just go wherever.
Yeah.
Have a shot, do
Yeah.
anything. But you're winning the treble.
And there's
you're playing with like superstars, and now he's not much fun to watch anymore. And presumably he's having less of a good time than when he was sort of,
But
at
it is
Villa.
good. There's a satisfaction, isn't there?
Exactly. But he's probably still thinking like, no, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because it works.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if they look like they're like I said, it's not the most sophisticated point I've ever made. But I don't know if they look like they're having the best time out there.
No, I'd agree with
Whereas
that.
I think I know this is and this is like different. We're in League Two, whatever. But when we were Matt Taylor's promotion season, they were loving it.
Yeah.
I do think they had a bit more license in those days to kind of go off on one.
Yeah, because even League One, Matt Taylor, which I know was only 3 months, but there were some right old times, weren't there?
I honestly can't remember anything about those couple of months he was there
Oh dear.
at the beginning of League One.
Anywho, there's the word I said I'd never say again. Anywho.
Well, you said it again now.
So, we then went up to Reading, New Year's Day.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom what the stadium's called. Something about selecting a car to buy.
Yeah. I remember it being pithy.
Certainly not pithy. And Reading, of course, relegation rivals. Docked lots of points.
Yeah.
Got a good squad, or better squad than us.
Could get docked again, couldn't they? Is there still a possibility?
Could do.
What have they been up to?
It's all finance, isn't it?
Right.
It's all spending where there's none to spend, or that kind of thing.
Trading 2-on-2.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't understand it. I don't even understand it with the... I understand it with the Premier League clubs. They're... I guess it's just the same, isn't it? They're essentially spending more money than they're allowed to spend. The owner's putting in more money than...
Okay.
I think that's right. Although I think also with Reading, wasn't it to do with sanctions? I don't know. They've lost some points.
Okay. Sounds boring.
It is boring. I'm bored myself. But we conceded really early on, didn't we? Again.
We actually looked like we were doing all right.
But it wasn't long before we conceded.
No, but before the goal, we looked like the better team by miles, you know, and then they scored. Just kind of out of nowhere, hooked ball over the top. Nobody dealt with it. And the guy just kind of, there's not much Sinisalo can do about it.
No.
They kind of knock it over a couple of defenders' heads and tap it in.
I know what you're saying. Looked like we're doing all right, but that's 9 minutes in. Like, what is this team? Like, what is it?
Well,
is it trying to be like
he has
sturdy at all costs? Because it's not that.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it's trying to be that. I don't really know. That's what I mean by it seems a bit unbalanced. I mean, we seem to have if we managed to score 2 goals in this game.
Yeah.
As you won't have escaped anyone, but then we conceded 3. So in the last 2 games, we scored 1 goal in 2 matches, but conceded none.
Yeah.
And in the Reading game, managed to score 2, but conceded 3. And it's just a bit baffling, isn't it? I mean, we have changed. Colwell has changed the shape a bit, partly out of, I think, injuries, and partly out of trying to do something a bit different. And I think, but then it's kind of like an incomplete kind of picture that you can't, like jigsaw puzzle that you can move a few bits over. No, this isn't how jigsaw puzzles work, so the analogy falls down straight away. But you can move a few bits over there and they work, but then you've left yourself another problem somewhere else, and if you fill that problem, then you've got the whole. That is emphatically nothing to do with jigsaw puzzles.
No, it's more like
they only go in one place. Anyway, so I think when you've got more of like a kind of back four kind of thing, which it looks like we kind of had. But then you play Cole and Carroll in front, there's not much protection, is there? Do you mean? So there's a big gap in between them. But you've got Cole and Carroll actually doing some quite good business between the two of them. And I think as a kind of vehicle to get us going a bit more, it looks a bit better than Trevitt and Carroll had been, for example. But then, like I said, we concede 3 goals with that system, Alex Hartridge, a day to forget, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
I tell you what, a day to remember is Zach Jules, who scored an absolute screamer, didn't he?
That goal was...
unexpected.
Yeah, but also a first goal for City.
Yeah.
Just something, wasn't it? I know we ended up losing the match, but I mean, at least when you watch it back, even knowing the score, you do kind of go, ooh, that was... I tell you what's even as a lovely strike, right? But what's even better than the strike is the first touch. It's unreal first touch. It kind of cushions it and readjusts his body in one move to give him enough space to kind of, because it comes at him pretty quick, to give him enough space to strike it. It's sumptuous.
Absolutely battered.
And he played really well and
I think he's a really good player. I think he's gone under the radar.
Well, he's getting kind of put in
weird
positions which aren't great for him. Yeah. I don't really know what we're doing on the wings. You mean you seem to have on the right kind of Niskanen and Rankin.
Yeah.
And then on the left, sort of Zach Jules, but sort of no one because he's not really playing out wide. But yeah, back to Hartridge. He then had a chance to put us 2-1 up.
Yes.
I think it must have been from a set piece, wasn't it? Was it? Yeah, from a free kick, I think. Otherwise, what would he be doing up there? But
Just puts it wide.
oh, he does everything right, and then the finish is just. I mean, the keeper and a defender to beat, but that's making it sound more difficult than it was, and he still just put it like the best part 2 yards wide, from about 6 yards out. I mean, and then
just before half time.
Well, we're going in at 1-1, and you think, oh, that's okay.
No, we go in at 2-1.
No, but you're about to go in at 1-1,
yes.
and you think that's all right.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, we've got back into this.
Yeah, could be ahead.
The first goal was a bit calamitous, and Hartridge just missed his thing, but we're doing okay. We are getting forward. We are kind of creating, at least. There's been a goal.
Yeah.
And then just the maddest goal to concede. Harry Kite.
Yeah.
Even Tom Carroll was telling him to hoof it.
Yeah.
Which says a lot.
Yeah.
And he seems to just like he gets the ball, thinks, oh, I've got, and could clear it. Could
or pass it.
But thinks, oh, I've got time here. Then loses it.
Yeah.
The guy sticks it in the box, and Hartridge heads it back into his own net. At that point, Hartridge could probably do better than to head it into. You're always going to be in danger in that area.
You could do better than score an own goal.
Well, it's difficult in that. It is a difficult one because you're close to your goal.
Yeah.
You're thinking there's a guy behind me who I think might well have been offside if he'd left it, but you don't know that. You're not taking that risk.
And he's leaning back, isn't he?
You're always in that position. It's always going to go. It's a risky one. You want it to go back over the top of the bar or something, don't you? Do you know what I mean? But it goes. It's always a risky one, and head in his hands. Now, there's been several rumours that Alex Hartridge is want away.
Yeah.
And I think that.
Well, of course, it's coming up to lambing season.
Is it? Oh, well, not far off. Yeah.
Not far off, so we want to be getting ready.
Yeah. What should we do? What should we do? Little transfer section. I'll sort of park this for a sec. We'll talk about the transfers in a minute.
We'll talk about transfers in a minute. Yeah, hold that horse. So as Alex Hartridge was.
Yes.
doing.
Yeah. So then
that's 2-1 half time.
2-1 at half time, and it's a little bit. We've kind of sunk a bit, haven't we?
Well, of course.
Rankin's played brilliantly in this half as well, but in this first half.
He's coming into his own a bit, isn't he?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, he looked good pre-injury, didn't he?
Well, but pre-injury, and still to a certain degree now, he was really only lacking a kind of delivery, and there's still been a bit of that since he's come back. But I think Saturday, was it even Saturday against Reading? That
Monday,
he looked the kind of most incisive that I can remember. But it looks like it's working for him, doesn't it?
And he gets a goal, his first professional goal, an equaliser, 2-2.
Yes.
I mean, it bobbled around a lot before he finally put it away, but however they come.
Yeah.
2-2. And you think, okay, maybe we've had our fair share of calamity.
I haven't mentioned at this point yet that Sonny Cox didn't play in this match, or he was on the bench.
You know who else was on the bench, of course?
Yeah, Perks.
David Perkins. He's called David?
Yes.
Why? Peter.
Don't know why.
Paul.
Aimson failed a late fitness test, so they
Perkins.
stuck Paul Perkins on the bench. Carl Perkins, I think his name is. It's Carl Perkins, isn't it?
It's actually, I can't think of any other jokes.
Sue Perkins.
Sue Perkins. Yeah.
So Sue Perkins is on the bench. I don't know. I think it makes us look a little bit stupid, but whatever.
It makes it look really stupid. We've played loads of games with like 7.
Not getting hung up on it.
I am. What are you doing? It's another stupid idea. Put in the same category as sitting in the gantry. And what else has he done that's mad?
Got the SAS to kidnap one of his Partick Thistle or Chesterfield players.
Go to the pub and you're still in your kit. Like, come on, Gary. Have a bit of professionalism. Don't be loopy.
Okay, yeah. I don't think it mattered massively to the result, but yeah, it does make us look a bit stupid.
Anyway, Sonny's on the bench with him.
James Scott starts in the first half, and he's younger than I thought he was. Only 23.
Yeah.
Anyway, he is
put in the same category as Bowman, isn't it?
What do you mean?
You've aged terribly.
No, he looks good.
Scott
in the face compared to Bowman.
Yeah, but Bowman was about 19 when we first saw him, and he looked 50.
Yeah, okay. I just thought Scott was a bit older because he's been around a
Oh,
bit. You
okay,
know,
I
like,
see what you mean.
he looks perfectly fine.
He doesn't look 23 though.
Does he not?
He looks like 30.
No.
Am I being harsh?
Look at his skin.
All right.
Either he's got, he's been really kind of. Well, we know how old he is. He's 23.
Carry on.
Anyway, he played terribly. Which is like, I feel a bit bad for him. Well, a bit. I feel a bit bad for him because he's getting booed to death.
I mean, he doesn't live in the Gaza Strip, so.
But his own fans quite clearly don't want him there.
And I'm assuming the Big Bang song about him is ironic, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. Although who knows with them lot? Because I mean, the chants these days. I mean, it's another.
That's another section of the podcast.
For another day.
Yeah.
But they're shocking. But yeah, and then I mean, he cannot hold the ball up at all. If we'd seen a little bit of kind of like, oh, this is nice, with Sonny Cox kind of doing a bit of actual hold-up play across the last couple of matches and go, oh, that's good, isn't it? Wow, I haven't seen that for a while. This was really reminded me of what was going on before Cox came back.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just woeful. It's a hard one, isn't it? Because he's not someone who... He's had He's done about 3 good things ever since joining for Exeter City, and the rest of it just looks like absolute calamity, doesn't it, Scott?
It does, really.
And this was one of the worst performances I've seen of his. And then he gets taken off and he's, booed all the way off. But
like we said before, it's doing these players no favours at all, this horrible, horrible run of form and this insistence on keeping the manager in.
yeah.
Anyway, we finished the game with it's heartbreaking, but it's also entirely predictable. 77 minutes, they get their third, and that's that, isn't it?
He had a good game, this fella, Aziz, didn't he? He scored the first one as well, right?
No, he didn't score the first one, no. It
Oh, didn't he?
was someone else. But no, he did have a good game, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good strike. You could, I think what I was talking about earlier on, if you watch the goal back, while he's, putting his foot through that ball, you can see Carroll and Reece Cole jogging back into frame, and then who's there in front of that back four, I mean, there's Zach Jules could come inside a bit quicker and close him down, but I feel like that's kind of like...
It's not really his job, is it?
Well, no, maybe it is. I don't really know if he's supposed to be coming in, because it didn't look like he's particularly wide. Is he supposed to be covering the centre as well? Like, who knows? But it seems a bit slapdash of a kind of plan if that is what's supposed to be happening. I don't think we can complain of the loss, really.
No, we can't. That's the thing. You think like, okay, well, we've scored now. We didn't deserve to win.
No, and they weren't good. Reading, they didn't play well. But I don't think we. I don't think I'd call it. I definitely wouldn't call it a good performance.
No,
even if we'd managed to draw it 2-2.
No.
I know that Caldwell would have said it was a good performance if we had, but I don't think it was. I think it was very disjointed, and I think there's some good things about it. But we've already talked about Rankin looked good.
Yeah.
Jules looked good, etc. Some other... we haven't even mentioned that, obviously, Czech Diabate again was excellent. I don't know.
I mean...
I felt really deflated afterwards, and I think the fans in the ground kind of booed that final whistle.
Right.
And there was a bit of Colwell out chanting and whatnot. Well, quite a lot by the sounds of it.
And that's away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I felt kind of deflated afterwards, and I thought even after we thought the problem was we couldn't score. We have scored. We've still lost, and it felt more like relegation than any other game this season.
And that's put us in the relegation zone.
I know, yeah, and has put us in the relegation zone.
But you're right. That's the kind of thing you like, because you can sell. You win, you beat Wickham, you draw at Portsmouth. You think, well, a draw against Portsmouth in any run of form would be good.
Yeah, and Wickham at home, a game you should win, and we did.
Yeah, and so you think, well, then we have to push on because we don't have enough points, and then we do that. And it's like, oh, I haven't changed my opinion of any of it. Like, I don't know if people are looking for us to be like, oh yeah, this will be better. This is better, and of course it is better. But was very unlikely our run of form was going to continue. 13 games without a win is insane. So inevitably, just by kind of the odds, you'd eventually pick up a win or two.
Yeah.
We'll now go back into another slump, I'd imagine, and we'll be end of January still be like,
I mean, we've
no good. There's not enough good signs. There's occasional glimpses, like you said, but
they're not going to sack him now.
no.
So I suppose you might as well, look for the positives where you can.
Well, of course, I'm pleased to score and good goals, and
And,
we weren't that
you
far
know,
away from.
And some good performances. Like I said, I still think it's more the players. I still think some of the tactical choices are odd. It's unbalanced. There's players to come back from injury. There's new signings coming in. Just check my phone. No notifications.
Shocked.
But yeah, too many. I mean, in that, as like we've just talked about, some encouraging things. But then on top of that, you've also got horrible performances from several players in the team.
Yeah.
Partridge,
Yeah.
Kite being played out of position, Niskanen and Aitchison run around a lot, but what are they?
Well, it's very hard to judge these players because the system clearly doesn't work for hardly any of them if they're even being played in the right positions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
The one player who's shone this season, honestly, is Sinisalo. He's the only one we can guarantee he's been played in the right position. You know what I mean? Or in the right system.
Well, and Diabate since he's been back in the right position and back from injury. Yeah.
So it all points towards coaching and management, all of it. And because we're League One, League Two team, there's always going to be mistakes. Always. Hartridge has always got a own goal in him, as to be honest, most centre-backs do, even the best ones.
Yeah.
And we're not going to score every chance we get. Because
And when an agricultural, and I mean that in every sense of the word, centre-back is through clean one-on-one on goal, at League One, it's 50-50 whether they're putting it away at best, isn't it?
Best.
So I'm not holding that against him.
No, but what we're looking at is his performances, matches where we only get very few chances.
Yeah.
And
also,
we have to have very good 100% defence performances because we're so bombarded.
We don't want to boil it down to like this individual was good and this individual was bad. What we want to see is a bit more cohesion overall.
Yeah.
And within that, you're always going to get at this level variations of a variety of performances based on how good these players are. I mean, that's why they're at League One / League Two level. But you want to see a bit of kind of like, it's not so much you want to see that's good, he looked a bit better, or this player looked a bit better. You want to see the whole thing working a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I don't think we did see much of that.
Agreed. So that puts us in the relegation zone. More on what's to come next in a second. Welcome back to the Big Bang Theory podcast. It's still 2024. Thanks for checking. You can tweet us at Big Bang Pod, email us bigbangpod@gmail.com, or find us on Facebook as well. Next up, it's Carlisle, relegation rivals Carlisle on Saturday at St James Park.
Yeah.
I mean, why do I keep saying it? It's a must-win. It's an absolute must-win.
It is.
I got no doubt about this. No doubt at all. If anything less than a win happens, I've basically written off the season, I think.
Oh, okay.
I can't see what's going to change.
Well, I suppose at that point, the board would argue that we've still got the rest of January to bring in the reinforcements, which will no doubt, transform us into a better team.
Yeah. Now, if Carlisle beat us and there's a 2-goal swing, so he beat us by 2 goals, they go above us in the league.
Right.
So that drops us down to 22nd. And then we're starting to look. Dan's phone's gone off. Big news.
No, don't worry. It is a notification
From Exeter City?
It is from Twitter.
Oh.
But it's from Rough Trade Records telling me about a winter sale of their books.
Lovely stuff. So you can get Thurston Moore's autobiography for half price.
20% off.
20% off. Good. Okay. I'm just saying it's bad, and we don't beat Carlisle. Things look a whole lot worse. We've gone from being, some distance ahead of the relegation zone to just above the relegation zone, but no one below us can win, to actually we're getting dragged right back into it. We're only 5 points away from
Well,
bottom.
that'll happen if you lose against teams who are in the relegation zone.
It's just basic, isn't it? But don't worry, the transfer window's open. We're 3 days in, and current count of transfers brought in and strikers brought in?
Well, so far, none.
None.
Yeah, 0.
Good.
After the Portsmouth game, or before the Portsmouth game,
Yeah.
we're told by people who were there in the Heritage Lounge. Is that what it's called? The Heritage
I
Lounge?
think that's what it's called. I've never...
That is such a shit, annoying name, isn't it?
Is it sponsored by Heritage?
What
something?
is Heritage?
I don't know. Is that a
A
thing?
website for looking up your nan.
Ancestry.com.
The Ancestry.com Lounge. The Friends Reunited Lounge.
Oh, yeah. Friendster.
Where you can go and hobnob with the who's who of Exeter City royalty.
Yeah.
Whilst eating some presumably fairly bland food.
Wow.
No, I don't know this. Never been in there. I wouldn't go in there.
Maybe it's old-fashioned food.
Don't want to go in there. You couldn't pay me to go in there. You
Yeah,
think I'm
Heritage.
joking?
Maybe
Offer
Heritage refers to
offer
the...
me some money to go in there.
No one's offering you any money.
I will turn it down.
Um,
And I am skint. I've got a washing machine that needs repairing.
yeah.
I need some dentistry work. Even if you were like, I'll cover all this. If you just go in there, if you go in the lounge,
Yeah.
whatever it's called, the live lounge,
The Heritage Lounge.
got to listen to some prick playing acoustic guitar, and then
Wow.
and then Caldwell's going to come out and tell us he's already signed 2 players,
So that's what he said, right?
and then 2 days later say, well, actually, you might get 1.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
That's what happened. Do you think heritage refers to the kind of food you get?
What, old?
Yeah, pottage.
Oh, like sort of not
Mead.
literally old food, but like, as
Yeah.
in not, but not past its sell-by date.
No,
food.
just
Like,
old from
right.
the olden days.
Like a big turkey leg.
Yeah. A grouse inside a swan.
Yeah. Corned beef hash.
Yeah. Women with the gravy painted on their legs. Oh, no, that's nothing
What
food.
is that?
Heritage, old-fashioned. When your nan couldn't afford stockings or they didn't have them in the war,
Yeah.
she put gravy on her legs.
Did she?
Yeah.
Gravy.
Yeah, because it's brown, isn't it? Like your tight colour.
Oh.
You ever heard of this?
I heard about people drawing a line down the back of their legs.
Same thing.
I didn't know they used gravy.
Yeah.
Why not just use a felt tip?
I don't think felt tips were also available in the Second World War.
What, they're rationing them as well, were they?
Don't think they existed.
Right. Okay. Well, I don't know anything then.
What were you doing in primary school, year 5?
Good question.
Yeah,
Probably too busy. Don't know.
thinking about
Thinking about,
who was playing for us then.
I don't know, Danny Bailey. Is he
Yeah,
still
thinking about
there?
Bailey.
John
Thinking about Vinicum.
Thinking about Rico Richardson.
Fair enough. Good reason not to know about the Blitz.
Meeting him down the plaza.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. What?
Martin Rogers used to paint his legs with gravy so it looked like he was wearing tights, I think.
Okay.
And he parades around the Heritage Lounge.
Right.
I think that's right.
While someone plays the acoustic guitar.
Yeah, I think we got that right. And while he was doing that, Caldwell sang a song about how he'd signed 2 players.
Yeah.
And yet here we are, 3rd of January, Gary. Martin Rogers has gone home.
To be fair,
There's no acoustic
Caldwell,
guitar.
even in the lounge, said before the Carlisle game. So
Yeah,
there's still time for that. We're not playing them now.
that's true. It's now, what day is it? Wednesday,
Yeah. Well,
1:30.
still time. It only takes a minute to sign a player.
What you don't know, listeners, is the minute we finish this, I have to rush to upload it so that we're not out of date. So that's going to happen.
It is what it is.
Yeah, okay. So we'll wait and see about these signings.
Well, he's still saying pretty confidently that we should maybe get one in.
Okay. And then he won't play because Perks has taken his place on the bench.
Yeah, inevitably.
Good.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. That's the state of it.
Yeah. So what I was talking about earlier on, the rumours are...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not only are we not going to sign anyone, we've got to sell
These are
some
the
more people.
rumours I've seen. Hartridge is going.
Where's this? Duke Roll?
He's been involved. Hartridge is going. Kite might be going. Diabate might be going.
So anyone from the academy?
Yeah, anyone from the academy is at risk, and I think they're all going to Bristol Rovers.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me at all.
Or Hartridge going to Stevenage, something like that. Is that
Why?
Is that
I mean, why wouldn't Matt Taylor tap up his unhappy academy players?
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, if he needs them.
Well, he's got a fairly lacklustre Bristol Rovers team. He knows what those lads can do. I mean, it's not rocket science. And fine, if we can get some money for it. I don't mean now, because obviously not now. But obviously we know how the system works. But what are we doing? If we sell anyone in this window, I'll be apoplectic.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyone?
We don't have enough players. Perks is on the bench.
Scott?
If we got $1 million for Scott. No, but I mean, we don't have the numbers, do we? I mean, yeah, fine. If we buy 4 forward players,
well, here's the thing.
Scott,
fine. Here's the problem. We needed signings in the last. Before
Nombe left.
Before Nombe even left. Since then, Admiral Musquay.
Yeah, dead.
Must go. Must be gone. Surely.
Must have passed.
Caleb Watts.
Yeah.
Who's he? Who's he? I've only just learnt his name, and he's we're never going to see him again.
No. Wildschut. Dead.
Wildschut's dead. Yeah. Ryan Trevitt.
Dead.
Someone we did know.
Big
gone.
Boot. Dead.
Gone. So we now need to replace.
Don't we look? We've got 2 keepers on the bench. We've never seen the light of day.
Is on the bench.
What the hell? Sean McDonald. He may be the best goalkeeper in the world, but we'll never know.
Well, let me tell you this. He had a magnificent tash from Movember.
That's all right then. That's good then.
Some things are more important than football.
Problem
solved. And, prostate charities is one of those things.
I'm all for that. I'll chuck a tenner in myself for McDonald's tash. But what does that do for our playing squad? He's not featured at all. We already had a keeper that Coldwell extended the contract of.
Who, Harry Lee?
No, Woods.
Oh, I forgot about him.
He's our backup keeper. Harry Lee's on loan, and then we brought in Sean McDonald, the only signing.
No, but Woods is injured, isn't he?
We got Harry Lee.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's all a bit of a mess.
Really is.
Right, get some people in.
Get some people in. Everyone put your notifications on. Right now.
Yeah, so unfortunately we need loads of players, don't we? And so, you're right.
We can't sell anyone.
Can't really sell anyone.
If we bring in 6, fine, let someone go. We ain't bringing in 6. We'll be lucky to bring in 3.
Mm.
All right, there we are. Sorry to let it end like that. Maybe by...
After the last podcast, you said to me, I was very negative.
Sorry.
It's usually the other way around.
I know. I mean, honestly, I'm so cross about it. It's been absolute mismanagement at the highest order.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try and get behind the team.
Good. I always get behind the team, by the way.
Yeah. I'm going to try and get on board with it and hope that, maybe we can bring some good players in and get some, and concentrate on those individual performances that might have improved a touch. And then if that doesn't go wrong and we're still sinking,
Notification?
No, not from.
No, forget
not
it.
from City. It's one of the 20 odd memes one of my mates sends me every day.
Oh yeah, good.
Never reply. Then if it's still going wrong, then I'm going to turn on the board with the fire of 1,000 suns.
Lovely, very good. We'll all look forward to that.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everyone. John, here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.